So when we're given a graph, we're going to find our slope first, which is what your quiz was just on, okay? And then from there, we're going to also then use our y-intercept. Where is that going to be in my graph? Where your line crosses the, which is our y-axis. So it's where the line crosses the y-axis. That's where we get our y-intercept, okay? I think of M is for moving. How does your line move? You're not stinky. M is for movement. So how do I move from one point to the next, moving left to right? B, I think beginning. Okay, because a lot of times you begin on the y-axis, and then you see how you move from there. Okay, because I don't think the letters M and B really make much sense. I like to try to make them make sense. So M is how we move. B is where we're going to begin to look at my line. Okay, so looking at our very first example, I'm going to begin with my y-intercept. Remember, these are my x's, right? These are negative x's. Up here we got y's. Down here we got negative y's. This is on my y-axis, and what number is that?
3.
What kind of a 3? Negative 3. There you go. So our B is negative 3. Now, how did this negative 3, let's see. So this is technically 0, negative 3. How did that move to reach this point right here? I don't even need to know what the actual coordinate point is. I just need to know how I move from one to the next. So how do we move? I went up how much? 1, 2, 3, and I went over 1. So if I went up 3 and over 1, that's going to be, I heard it, a positive 3.
Oh, I said it. You get it both ways.
Okay, so our equation is going to be y equals mx plus b. My m is 3, so 3x. My b is negative 3. Am I going to write plus negative 3? No, it doesn't make sense. What do I usually just put? We're just going to put minus 3. And that is the equation of that line. Okay. Moving over to our next example. We need our M and we need our B. B is where we begin on the y-axis. Again, x, y, negative x, negative y. If you need to label those every time, do it. Okay. I see the y-axis is this guy right here. And I see that we're crossing it at what point? I heard it over here.
2.
It is at 2. So your B is 2. We're beginning at the y of 2. And then from here, I am moving to get down to this point. And how do I move to get there?
Down. 2 over 4.
Well, we go down how much? We go down 3 and over 2. So be careful. You went over and then down. Make sure you go down and then over. Because it's rise over run. Y's over x's. Okay? So what is that slope going to be? Negative 3 over 2. Negative 3 over 2. Because we went down. Makes sense, right? Look at the line. Is the line going negative? It's falling down. Yes, it is. All right, our equation will be y equals... What's my M? Negative 3 over 2, x, and then plus 2. So you should always have a y and an x in your equation. Okay, it should always be there. What's up? Yes. All right. Moving on to example number 3. Okay. So I don't have the lines for my M or my B anymore, but do I need it? No, we can do it. Okay, let's find your B first. So right here on my y-axis, where am I crossing over? At 2. Good. So my B equals 2. I can kind of label it for me on the side. All right, now movement. How did we move to get there? Do you see your other point? See how it's down here? But hold on. But how do we read? We read graphs left to right. So start at the red and now go to the orange. It's the same color? Then let me make it like blue. Would blue be a... There. Start at blue. That's fine. Start at blue and go to orange. Could we go from left to right? So I heard it. It is up 2. Yes. Oops. Up 2. There we go. And then to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what's our slope going to be? What's our slope going to be? What's just the slope, just the m? 2/5. Good. They stay positive. So now what's my equation?
Y equals 2/5 plus
Almost. X. There you go. And then plus 2. Good. There we go. I'll even color code this. There you go.
Is that orange?
It is.
Definitely orange.
All right. Hey, before we even do number 4, is it going to have a positive or negative slope?
Positive. Wait, no, negative. Oh, negative. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong word.
It's falling down, right? If I were to trace this line from left to right, like how we read a book, we would be falling down. So this, we know we're going to have y equals negative something, okay? So that's always good to kind of have that in your head, knowing what you're going to get. Again, I like starting with my b. It's where we begin.
1.
Yes. So we begin when I have a y value of 1. That's this guy right here. My slope, we have to read from left to right. So I actually have a point over here on the left side this time. Make it green.
So it's -3.
So how does green go? We go down 3. And we went over how much? Over 1. So my m is -3/1. And how do you think we're going to write that in our equation?
Y equals -3/1. X plus 1.
Okay. So unlike your EOC and stuff, they're not going to put -3/1. What are they going to put? They're going to put just -3. Okay. If you were to write -3/1 for me, yes, that is correct. That is the same thing. I just need to make sure that you are just aware that if it was like a multiple choice problem, -3/1 wouldn't be an option. All right. Here we go. Number 5. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
It's just good to repeat. Okay. Sounds good. My first one. Oops. Come on. There we go. Y equals, there's my y-axis. What is going to be our y-intercept? Is that +3? Good. So we're beginning at y equals 3. Good. Our slope, okay, our point is over here to the left. So how do I go from green to red?
Go down.
We're going up.
3.
We're going up 3, okay?
Over 2.
And then over 2. So what is your m value going to be?
3/2.
3.
No, -2.
Nope, it's 3/2. Because we went up and then right. Those are both positive movements. Down or left would give you a negative. All right, so how do we write this equation?
Y(x)
3/2x plus 3.
That's what I put plus 2. Wait, plus 3.
That's the b. Yep. How I move plus where we hit the y axis. All right. Before we even do number 6, is it going to be a positive or negative slope? Negative. Yeah, we should go y equals negative something. Okay, so let's see what happens. Where is my y-intercept going to be? -2. Good. This one right here. So how did I move to get there? We started on the left side at this point. How did I move to get to my purple? Down 2 and over 3. I think so. 1, 2, 3. Yep. So what's our slope? Almost.
-2 over negative and over 3.
Yes, there you go. If you had negative over a negative, that would make it positive. So be careful. If we see that my line is falling down, it just gets one negative. All right, so how do we write our equation for this one? Am I going to say plus -2?
No.
Just -2. So the sign with your y-intercept stays with it. All right. Questions about anything from the first 6? Okay. Moving on to the back. Here we go. Number 7. Before I do anything, is it going to be a positive or negative slope? Yeah, positive. If I look at my line, it's going up. Yep, it will be a positive number. Good. Where is our y-intercept? Good. It is at -3. And we're moving. Now we're moving over here. How did I move to get to that orange spot? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. We went up 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. So what is 4 over 4 going to be? 1. Good. My slope is 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So we're going to get y equals. Do we usually write 1x? We just write x. Good. So we have x and then we have -3. If you have a 1x, would you be wrong? No, you're not wrong. You're just extra. Okay? You don't need it. But if you want to put it there, you absolutely can. All right. Bless you. All right, let's go to number 8. My intercept is at +4. 1, 2, 3. I agree. So our B is 4. What was my slope? Okay, how'd you get 2?
We went down.
It went up, right?
Oh.
All right, so to go from green, we went up 2 and over 1. So 2 divided by 1 is just 2. So yes, it is 2x and then +4. All right. Number 9. Without doing anything, are we going to have a positive or negative slope?
Positive? Negative.
If you trace this from left to right, your pencil falls down. This will give you a negative slope. Okay, so we know we're going to have a negative something attached to my x. All right. Before we get there, we have to see where we started on the y-axis. Where did we start on the y-axis? Where did you begin?
2.
1. There we go. Now, how do I move?
You go down. You down.
Down how much?
Down 2. Down 2. Down 2 over 2.
Okay. So down 2 and over 2 gives me what? Careful. Remember we said it was falling down, right? Negative 1. That's technically negative 2 divided by 2. So this will give me a negative 1. Okay. So our equation will be y equals, do I usually write negative 1x? No, what do we usually write? We usually write negative x. So y equals negative x and then plus 1. I know, it's frozen. It's probably going to disconnect and then I'll bring it back. Y equals negative x plus 1. All right. Questions for me? All right, moving on to number 10. Where is this line crossing the y-axis? Where are we crossing the y-axis on number 10? Negative 4. It's negative 4, not positive 4. And is that going to be the m or the b in my equation? It's going to be the b. So b equals negative 4. Okay, it is. I know. There we go. All right, is my slope... Okay, so my last video cut off in the middle of number 10, so I wanted to show you the notes and explain. So we have a b value of negative 4, and then our slope we saw went up 1 and over 2, so our slope is going to be positive 1/2. I don't think so. So this gives us the equation, y equals 1/2 x minus 4. Looking at number 11. Number 11 crosses through the origin, which gives me a y-intercept of 0, so my b value is 0. Our slope, moving from left to right, we go down 3 and to the right 3, which is negative 3 divided by 3, which simplifies to be negative 1. So in our equation, we have y equals negative x. So technically there is a negative 1x and a plus 0 on this, but in the world of math, we don't write that. Okay, so we're not going to need to write that plus 0, and we're not going to need to actually put the 1. So this equation is y equals negative x. Okay, looking at number 12. 12 has a y-intercept of positive 1. Moving left to right, our points go down 2 and to the right 1. So down gives us that negative movement. So we have a slope of negative 2/3. Our equation is y equals negative 2/3 x plus 1. All right, our last two examples on our notes were multiple choice. So I'm going to talk through how we were able to eliminate some answers and how we got to what the correct answer choice was. So number 13, which graph represents the line y equals 1/3 x minus 2? So the first thing we did is we checked out which lines cross the y-axis at negative 2. So if I'm looking, A and B are both crossing at positive 2. So those were the first answer choices that we eliminated. The difference between C and D was their slope. So we saw how the points changed. Graph C, they were going up 3 and over 1. Graph D went up 1 and over 3. So D has the correct slope of 1/3. So that's why D is our answer. And then our final piece, number 14, gives me a graph this time and wants me to pick the right equation. So the first thing we looked at in number 14 was I asked them, is this line going to be a positive or negative slope? They all said it's going to be negative because if you trace your pencil from left to right, your pencil will fall down. So we were able to eliminate choices A and B right away because they both had positive slopes and we know we need a negative slope. We have the negative 1 in common, so we know our y-intercept is negative 1. That doesn't help me. The difference between C and D is the slopes. So C has a slope of negative 2, D has a slope of negative 1/2. So if I look at my points, I go down 2 and over 1. So down 2 is negative 2 over 1. So negative 2 divided by 1 just gives me negative 2. So that's why C was our answer for our last one. So sorry that the video cut off, but if you have any questions, y'all just reach out, let me know.